Funny enough, I spoke to him earlier in the day, and he was just like, he was just kind of going through it on the plane on the way back from New York, and I had no idea he was even doing this. And he was like, "Man, I just had one of the greatest like moments, you know what I'm saying? Like therapeutic moments that I could have possibly had." I was like, "What happened?" He was like, "Man, I did this interview and man, I just let it all out." Like he told me, he was like, "Man, you gotta do this. You gotta do it." I ain't gonna lie, I used to like be angry a lot, like when I was like younger, like for no reason. Like I used to be angry, and I feel like some of that still like carried through as an adult. And I think for me, I it allowed me a form of expression to express my anger and to express like certain things that like made me feel XYZ. I felt like that was the only place that I felt in control. I felt like that was one of the only places that I felt like in control, you know, and that I felt like I was like that I had mastered controlling my emotion. As a kid, some of these experiences, they shape how you feel about yourself, and I used to be like, dang, why I gotta be so like, how come I couldn't be lighter? You know what I'm saying? Like look, like shades lighter. But in my name as well, like Nana, it's not a traditional like name, My parents are from Ghana, so it's common out here. They like, oh, like, Nana, that's a girl's name, or that's da 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 da. That's what I call my grandma, And I think with time and just maturing and growing up, I had to be comfortable in these insecurities because now, as an adult, I'm like, my skin is beautiful. I love my skin. I love how I look. I love my name. I love how meaningful my name is. The one that did tear down my confidence, I'll never forget, I remember in sixth grade, uh, you go from fifth grade to sixth grade. It's a whole new set of, it's a whole new set of people, from your last school that you was in and whatnot. And I remember I got jumped on the first day of school, and I had to learn how to like just fight back, whatever that was or meant to me, like whether if it was physically or verbally, had to like learn how to fight back, and um, not let not let the world take or like not let the world destroy me. I had to fight back, and that's a part of why I did feel, that sense of anger. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to learn how to like really defend myself. Just finding people that identify with me and who mess with me just for me being me, vice versa, and that would also like, finding that community, even as a kid, finding that community to where it's like, okay, you got my back, I got your back, So I would say, that was a big one for me. If it was one person, two people, three people, because I remember after I got jumped, I'll never forget my homie at the time. He was he was yeah, he was from the neighborhood or whatnot, and he was just like, yo, I got your back. Like, don't worry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you walk at home, I'm gonna walk home with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna catch phase together. That's what we gotta do. And I appreciated that. Cause, in this world, you can't do it alone, and that showed me that very early. When I am with my family or my friends, I'm not an art. I'm me. I'm Nana. I'm a human being. I'm a friend. I'm a son. Um, I'm an uncle. I'm a nephew. You know, so that kind of puts me back into the perspective of like, okay, like, I'm a person that goes through things like and the artistry is what it's what drives, I guess, who I am as a person, because I take my personal experiences and put it into the art. You deal with so many people that you agree with, you deal with so many people that you disagree with. You know, you deal with so many people that have control. You deal with so many people that have, you know, the ability to say yes or no to you getting different opportunities or so on and so forth. So it's difficult because you kind of have to pick and choose. You kind of have to pick and choose your battles, you know. So it's a lot of ups and downs. It's a lot of ups and downs. I've seen, you know, the highs of the highs. I've seen some of the lows of the lows, and other people and then myself. I remember the day that I signed my record deal. That was like I was ecstatic, you know. And I remember the day that I no longer had a record deal, and how that I felt, you know, within that, you know, just within that experience. And I know what it feels like when everybody's picking up your phone call, and I know what it feels like when nobody wants to pick up your phone call. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are part of the ups and downs. It's a lot of great moments, a lot of small wins, a lot of big wins, a lot of losses, a lot of big losses, a lot of small losses. There's times where I'm like, man, life would be so much easier if I didn't have to deal with this shit, you know? But you have to remind yourself, like I constantly remind myself why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it for other people. I'm doing it for, I'm not doing it for gratification. I'm not doing it for money. I'm not doing it for fame. You know, all of that stuff is great, and it comes along the way, you know, through hard work and dedication and all of that stuff. But I'm doing it because this is my purpose. This is what I feel like I was put here on earth. Not what I feel like. This is what I was put here on earth to do. I remember one dude, he put out a tweet I still think about till this day. You know, he said that he was going through chemotherapy, and he said that he had, you know, he went through that process of chemotherapy, and he was convinced, and he was like, you know, the doctors think it's the medicine, but I'm convinced in myself, and I told the doctors that it was all of your music that got me through chemo. And those are the moments that I continuously try to remind myself of why I do what I do, and why, you know, and me feeling like I was put here to do what it is that I do. Not believing the hype about yourself when people are, you know, because those same people that will lift you up will be the same people that tear you down, right? So you just have to be solid within yourself. You have to stay, it sounds so cliche, but you really do have to be extremely, 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 extremely humble, because, you know, life can go whatever way, you know, especially within the world of what it is that I do. You know, things change so much. So you just have to be solid within yourself. You have to constantly just remind yourself, you know, have those reminders, and God will speak to you too. God will remind you, you know, God will remind you of what it is that he put you here to do, because I've gotten several reminders whenever I wanted to quit, whenever I wanted to throw this shit all away, like, yo, I don't want to do this shit no more, you know. I always hear the voice. I always hear the voice of God. Always, always, always. Never fails. Never fails. You learn about yourself through traveling. You see different things. You learn about humanity through traveling. You see a world outside of yourself. You know, like I even speak about that, you know, on the project that I just put out, like being able to disconnect which allows you to, in a sense, reconnect. So yeah, I'm actually going to Ghana in like a month for that reason. So yeah, I think that's like the biggest form of therapy outside of like writing for me personally. And I enjoy it. Like it just always makes me feel good seeing something that I've never seen, or stepping into a culture that I've never like stepped into, or just like, just seeing how people congregate and how different, you know, people communicate outside of where it is that I communicate, because I'm from Los Angeles, and there's a world outside of Los Angeles, like where people communicate, like New York. They communicate totally different than how we communicate. Everybody has their culture, so I appreciate that. Whether it's your medium is, you're a painter, or you're, however you express yourself, if it doesn't feel right, it's like I can't do it, So I'm driven off of feeling. Like if it feels right, that's where my spirit is led, And like I said, the harder thing to do is to stay grounded and solid, and committed to my vision and the vision that I have for myself, more so than what everybody else is doing. Like that's the easy thing to say, yo, I'm just gonna fuck all of this shit. I'm gonna go do what they're doing, because that's what's, that's what the latest trend or whatever the case is, But yeah, that's how I stay locked in and stay, that's how I stay true to myself. My grandmother, she doesn't travel to Los Angeles often. I don't think she's ever been out here. And yeah, she's getting older. And I've only ever seen my grandmother one time, when I went to Ghana. So, and I don't go to Ghana often. So this is the first time where I'm gonna travel and go see her. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her, and just spending a lot of time with her, So that's why the last time she saw me, I was much younger. So I'm really looking forward to, just creating those memories and moments with her. So yeah, more than anything, more than any trip or whatever, just having that time with her is what I'm looking forward to.